name is Dr. Siva. Dr. Siva Shankar, you can call me Dr. Siva. You can call me Siva, no problem. I think before we get to the history of the world, finally I'm going to take a bit of medicine. I'm a researcher there. I have about 19 years working experience here in Malaysia and overseas. I used to be a safety and health officer, so I've seen this kind of incidences happen before. In Viking steel. Viking steel stands the metal chassis of your iPhone. So a lot of potential accidents can happen over there. I used to work in Lotus Cars, Lotus Engineering, Proton, and all that as a project manager, engineer, so on, so quite extensive experience. Okay, before we start, I just want to ask you all as engineers, always be aware of dangers in the machines that you use and designs that you see. Yeah? Because that's what we're going to talk about today. The machines that you're going to use here. Be aware of the potential danger. Something that can happen, something that can injure you, something that can even kill you. So be aware of it. Just as an example, motorcycle is a machine, isn't it? Everybody agree? Yeah. Okay. So, you see this truck type a lot in Malaysia? So, any foreigner over here? Foreign. If I use Malay, is it okay? So, are you from outside of Malaysia? Okay, so I won't use Malay, no problem. No problem. This underboard motorcycle, you've seen it a lot, right, in Malaysia? Okay. One of the problems that we see is, when children go with their parents, they are hugging their parents like this, they are riding on safe. These are the scenarios that you see in Malaysia, right? Yeah. Parents taking their children without any helmet, they don't have any protection, they're going to fall off, their feet is going to hit the exhaust pipe. And when accidents happen, this happens. The child's leg can be cut off, amputated, broken arms, broken legs, burns to the body. So the motorcycle has a very big gap in safety. So what can we do about it? I decided to create a motorcycle safety seat. Yeah, for children. So we came up with different concepts. Finally, we agreed on the fifth concept. There's protection for the back, protection for the hand, protection for the legs. So this is what I'm going to encourage you is always look at the potential danger or inadequacy of the current design. And you can improve upon it as mechanical engineers, as engineers in the future. Not only this kind of machines, but your daily life. Yeah? Okay. A bit of talk. Okay. Today we're going to talk about machine safety. Under machines that have the release of sudden power can injure people. So people working in machines must be always on the guard, always be aware of the dangers of the machine. Now, incidents can happen because there's lack of protection on the machine. People are not following procedure, they don't have enough training, lack of maintenance. Horseplay, you know what is horseplay? Not horseplaying over there, like pushing a friend. Do not push your friend when you are there. Near the machine. You will see what happens later. Yeah? These are the kind of accidents that can happen. That picture over there is a crushing of the leg. The bones are broken, the tendons are all severe. This person may never walk properly again. Yeah? They can be electrical shock, burns, you can even die. Uplearning, which I'm going to talk about later, is very important that we know the safety steps because we can potentially be painful. Yeah? It's electrical. I'll talk about it later. So when identifying safety, we need to see three aspects: general safety, machine safety, and human safety. Yeah. So we must always consider the safety aspects before you operate the machine, safety aspects during the operation of the machine, and after you finish, you still have to consider the safety aspects as well. Just don't think, I'm finished, I'm done, that's it, thank you, goodbye. No, I'll show you as well. Alright, there are so many hazards relating to the operation of machines, like what we said, there's no crushing, shearing, puncture of your limbs, electrical shock, noise, vibration. We have to also see the ergonomics of the machine, whether it's suitable for you or not. All of this we have to consider. Alright, this has happened a few times. When the clothes is loose, the motor is moving, your clothes can get caught and you can get pulled into the machine. Yeah? For the unguarded part of the machine which doesn't have guard, this is an example of a guard. Yeah, this is an example of a guard. So when it's not guarded, it can pull you in, it can hit you, it can even potentially fatally injure you as well. Another example of an unguarded part of a machine. Okay, this is the same one here. Previously, the lathe machine did not have guards. And this caused a lot of injury. So you can see what the lathe machine is cutting without guards. Potentially, you can cut your finger, injure your finger, cut your hands, and so on. Yeah? That is a bench saw over there on that, which is without guards as well. Okay, before using any machinery, do not use the machinery unless the instructor has given you the permission to use the machinery. So when you come here into the lab, talk to your instructor, Mr. Kiki, and there's another question I think. Ask them whether it's okay to use the machinery. He will instruct you on how to start the machinery and give you the proper guidance to use the machinery. Okay? Alright. Before we go to safety of the machine, let's understand your lab. You walk into this lab, you see all these signs over there. Do you understand what they mean? Over there? It's in English as well, so it's okay. Okay, blue signages is what you need to follow. There's blue, red, and yellow. Red is what you cannot do, what you're not allowed to do. That's why it's a big no-no. Yellow is be aware. These are the things that can happen, yeah? So always be aware of the signages. I don't see much yellow over here. So it's okay. These are the same signages that you see over here. Yeah? This sign here means you need to wear safety goggles. This. Even though you're using your spectacles or whatever, safety goggles is an important item to use. Yeah? So always ask your instructor for safety goggles. If it's not clear, ask him for a new one or a clean one. Yeah? Because if it's not clear, you can't do your work. Yeah? Use protective safety shoes. I'm using a safety shoe because I'm going to use the arc welding. This safety shoe has got a metal toe protector. So if anything falls on your toe, on your shoe, the shoe would have protected my toes and it won't be crushed. That's why safety shoes are very important. A lot of people don't want to wear safety shoe. Even I didn't like wearing safety shoe when I started at your age. It's very tight. It is not comfortable. It's heavy as well. But you need the safety shoe to protect your legs. If your legs go, you can't walk, isn't it? Yeah. So always, when your instructor instructs you to use your safety shoes, please use your safety shoes to protect your legs. Everybody, yeah. Very important when you're working in the workshop, do not use your rings. Keep your rings. Keep your watch away. I've taken out my watch. I've taken out my rings. One of the videos you will see, I forgot to take out my watch. That was my fault. If you have long hair tied up, if you have to use a net, use the net. If the signages say use a hat, also please use a hat. Yeah. Safety hat, please. This is a apron for welding. So if you need to use apron for welding, okay. If you need to use apron for welding, please follow the instructions as well. We will show you soon. Certain operations you need to use gloves, like arc welding. Certain operations you're not allowed to use gloves. That is why it's a big deal. Lathe and milling, you cannot use gloves because if you use gloves, you might get pulled into the machine and ultimately injure yourself or even lose your finger. Yeah. Some you need to have breathing protection, especially when you're using the saw, because they cut and go to your head. But now, because of mask, but these special masks are even more big, especially when you're using the saw. These special masks have more protection, give you more protection than these normal masks here. Yeah? Face shield when necessary, sometimes it's called face mask, face helmet. Please use them when necessary. Ear plugs as well, when you need to use ear plugs, sometimes during the sawing, sometimes during welding, you need to use your face mask, face ear protection, use them as well. Alright, this is important. Certain machines can induce sparks which then causes fire. Like your arc welding, there's a lot of spark here. Here, when you cut metal, there's a lot of sparks as well. Even milling also, when you're doing milling, there's a lot of sparks as well. Be aware of where your fire extinguisher. Does everybody know where the fire extinguisher now? I was looking at it, so I'm giving you a tip. Yeah, at the back there, yeah. Another thing that you can do, make sure your fire extinguisher is not out of date. Because I think every year it has to be serviced to make sure the pressure and everything is alright. So you can look at the label. If the label is saying expired, please tell your instructor. Yeah. Always know where your first aid kit. Does everybody know where's the first aid kit? Same place. Okay, very good. Just make sure if you can check the items there is not expired. Please try to check and let your instructor know as well. Okay, in the lab, in the bookshop, you have seen the floors. Do you know what the color green and yellow mean? Okay, green tells you where you're allowed to walk. Yellow is the border. And green is where the machines are usually stored. Now this lab is slightly different. Everything was painted green, I think, so then it had to be marked in yellow. But usually it's yellow, green, and gray. Yeah. Okay, before we go on, forgot to add 2 more items here. Do you know where your emergency stop is? Emergency stop button. Okay, that's for your machine, right? But what about the emergency stop for the lab? Yes, you're right. It's over there. Okay? Now, just in case, I will tell you, somebody's sleeves get caught here. Do not panic and try to go run and off it over there. You run there and you slam the thing. The whole lab will shut off. You have saved the person. Yeah? So remember that. The emergency switch is very, very important. Anybody shouts up, switch it off. It stops everything. Okay? Also, you need to know where your emergency doors. Everybody know where the emergency door? In case something happens. Explosion happens here. Where do you run? Yeah. Those 2 doors. Those 2 doors are your exit doors. Pull means exit. Yeah. The doors are supposed to be open when you do your workshop. Just make sure, in case anybody had closed it, go and open it. Open it. In case you see, you can exit there, fine. But if this machine is the one that catches fire, how are you going to pass it? Yeah? So always remember, you need to go there. Also, examples of a PPE is here. You can see over here, your hats, your apron, your safety shoe is there. I will show how to use some later. Yeah? Alright, These are the type of injuries that can happen. That person is already blind because getting hit by a shrapnel. Yeah. So, sorry. I need to ask, is anybody here pregnant? Because of some of the things here are the picture that I'm going to show is very gory. Are you all okay to see these kind of pictures? Yeah, you need to see them to be aware. Yeah? Okay. This is crushed finger. Finger getting caught here and getting crushed. Going into the machine guy and getting crushed. Machine. Yeah? Don't think that once your fingers are crushed, after a while you can get it back. That person has lost the ability to use the fingers. Yeah? This is the finger being cut off. Sheared. The finger is still there. The front part has been sheared. Are you all aware of shearing machines? You know the one that cuts metal? The person, the worker who has to feed it in, his work is to continuously feed in. In Daikin, when I was there, the person was working 12 hours, so he got very tired. The last time, after 12 hours, when he started putting in the sheet, he did not realize that the cutter had come and he cut off his finger. That was the example of it. Yeah? This is the one where his fingers are completely gone. I think they managed to reattach one. The other three could not. Please be aware of this. These are the kind of dangers that can happen to you as well. This is called a welder's eye. If you don't use your welding helmet, it's called a welding helmet, welding mask, same thing. If you don't use the welding helmet properly, this is what can happen. The eyesight are damaged. Yeah? You can even burn your hand if you don't use the gloves properly. This is electric shock when using the arc welding. Yeah? Okay. This is what I was saying, you're telling about rotating machines. Rotating machines, you can get your fingers stuck here, and if you're stuck, it gets into it's called a nick point. Getting nicked. Yeah? So be aware of where the nick points here. The nick points for this machine is here, possibly here, when you put in this, when you start the tail stop, and all that. So today we're going to talk about three machines: arc welding, lathe, and milling. Okay, before we start, anybody knows what is arc welding? You don't know what is arc welding?
Winding metals together.
Yes, exactly. Welding two metals together. That is what is arc welding. Basically, that's it. Okay, look at this. This is an accident that happened to a welder, a professional welder. He's welding over there. He stops welding. He has not put the machine or turned it off properly. Boom, exploded. He's a professional welder, 20 years experience. It can also happen to somebody like that. This is the basics of a welding machine. You can see the welding power source. Two cables, the positive and negative. The positive is attached to the electrode handle. The negative is attached to the cable, clamped to the cable. Basically, when you do your welding, it's a circuit. The circuit runs, a full circuit runs, electric runs. Yeah? Always be aware of that. Can you see? There's a circuit. Alright? Just show you something. Yeah? You don't have to be scared of welding. Welding is something that a lot of people do. You can be safe when you do it properly. So understand and follow all the warning labels, the instructions that your instructor gives you. And will be okay. So don't worry about that. Don't get scared of welding. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, just be aware welding has got this hazard from the tubes, hazard from the electric shock, the arc rate, the lights, the UV ray, fire noise explosion, fire and explosion hazard, sorry, noise and hot objects. That's very, very dangerous for you as well. Alright. The fumes can be very, very dangerous for you. Please remember, according to NIOSH, the Malaysian NIOSH body, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, they have done studies on the fume that comes out of there when you do welding. They have found it's not only pure fume, there's also metal particles as well. Very, very tiny metal particles as well. Now, if you breathe in that metal particles over the years, you can get cancer. It's not good for you. So, make sure when you set the local exhaust ventilation, is set properly. I will show you how to do it. Over here, this particular exhaust is set halfway between the nose and the welder. The nose of the welder and the table, sorry. So, before even the fume can reach the nose of the welder, the exhaust is really pulling in the fumes. Yeah? I will show you. Alright? This is the machine. Always make sure that you start the machine. Sorry, when you plug in the machine and the cables, the machine is switched off. Now, professional welders, you might see in videos and movies and all that, they do it with the power switched on. They know what to do, but we as amateur welders, we don't know, right? So keep that in mind. Do not switch on and put in the cables. If a machine, you see a machine there, you've got a lockout tag, please do not use that machine. Check with the instructor why the machine has got a tag, then go to another machine. Alright? This is called the isolator box. You will see it's the same isolator box over there. When you go inside there, later you will see. Now, over the years, this isolator box, because it's made of plastic, it cracked. Now, there's 415 volts running here, 3-phase. If it's cracked, it's dangerous for you. You can get electrocuted. So make sure, if it's cracked, tell your instructor. Now, certain boxes, like at the back over there, you'll see it's made out of metal, so it's safe. If you just press the on button, it's fine. But this one is made out of plastic, so always be aware. It can crack. Make sure the wire coming out of the isolator box, there's no cracks, no melted parts as well. Because if you touch that, you can get electrocuted as well. Yeah? Now this is the machine. It's taking 415 volts and converting it to 45 volts. So when you use it, make sure that the machine is in a proper working condition. If you feel that the lights are not coming out properly, anything wrong with the machine, let the instructor know. Ampere, the amperage always set it to 50. From 50 you start going up slowly, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Don't go above 100 because that's not your level yet. Yeah? Okay, this is the cable. This is your welding cable. This welding cable is from here. It's in proper condition. It's in good condition. Yeah? So make sure your welding cable is always in proper working condition. There's no cracks, there's no melting. Yeah? If you see any crack, whether on the cable or on the connector. This is the connector. Sorry, this is the connector. And this is the electrode holder. So if you see any crack here, inform your instructor. Yeah? Because if the crack is here, then you can get electrocuted as well. Yeah? Always be aware of that. The crack is here, potentially electrocution as well. Yeah? It's plastic, so it doesn't last. Alright? Alright. As usual, always use protection properly. Use your aprons. The aprons will protect you from sparks. Use your mask. Use your welding mask. Use a mask that you put it on your head. the mask that you hold with your hand. Because you hold with your hand, you're using one hand to hold your mask and the other hand to do your welding. So whereas if anything goes wrong, you need to use the other hand, you're stuck. Alright? Safety shoes, wear socks in them. If the spark goes into your shoes, you will get shocked and then you might actually injure your friend next to you or something else might happen. So be careful about that. Alright, this welding mask has got two layers. One layer is here, the other layer is here. Now this layer is using tendon. Alright? Tendon is the one, you need to check where is tendon because tendon is the one that can protect your eyes. When welding, do not use this. When you go to start welding, close it. Alright? Do not use your shaded spectacles, your black specs or whatever, because that is not going to protect your eyes. You're going to injure your eyes and eventually you will damage your eyes to the point of getting blind. Alright? So you're also going to burn your face at the same time as well. This protects your face as well. Yeah? Now we go to the clothing part. Always use thick clothing, like what I have here, because sparks can go and injure your body. The shock when you get hit by a spark, you actually move and then hit your friend who's next to you and so on. So use thick clothes when you can. Electric shock can kill you. Remember that it's 415 volts. So insulate yourself from work and ground. Follow all the warnings. Oh yeah, the cable, make sure the cable has got no, like I told you, cracks, because if it has cracks, you might actually electrocute yourself as well. Yeah? Remember, welding can cause fire, can cause explosion, so have a fire extinguisher ready. And also go back and check your work after 35 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Use ear protection where you can. Yeah? Okay, we're almost done with arc welding. Can somebody please tell me what's wrong with this picture? So there's no foot protection here. You can see here as well. The wrong and good side. The person is not using a mask, he's using spectacles. He's not bothered about the person next to him. There's no proper exhaust. Yeah. So always follow the instructions. Yeah. Okay, during welding, keep your safety equipment on. Do not remove any of the PPE because you need to make sure that you're always protected. And make sure the earth clamp. Now here the earth clamp is very far away, but if you're going to weld somebody somewhere else, the earth clamp is far away from your electrode as possible. Because you don't want to hit your earth clamp accidentally and you break the circuit. Yeah? And also make sure your exhaust is halfway between your face and your nose. As you can see, the exhaust can you see the exhaust pulling out the smoke efficiently before it even goes into your nose? Yeah, that's very important. Right? Do not place your electrode handle back onto your table when you're done because you're creating another circuit. Always remember that. So what do? You go and switch off your isolator. See, you switch off your isolator and then you can put away your electrode. Not your electrode handle. If there's a special, like this table here, there's a handle, there's a placeholder, put it on the placeholder. Okay. Do not leave your hot mask on the table, sorry, on the hot table. When you take out your mask, you put it on the table, you just melted the lens. You spoil the lens. This lens is very expensive, remember. So do not place your mask on a hot table. Put it away where it's supposed to be. Alright, flying metal. Flying metal is very, very important. Now, after you do your welding, you need to clean the slack, the top part of the welding. When you're heating it, make sure there's no friends beside you because your friends are not using a mask. So if you hit it and it goes into their eyes, you are responsible for it, yeah? So you lift your first lens, the clear lens is there. You can use that to hit your. I mean, you can watch your hitting through that particular lens. All right, this is very important. Does everybody know what this means? Do not use gloves, wear gloves. Do not use your glove like this and pick it up. Yeah? Instead, wear your gloves and pick it up. Understand? Because if you think you're getting 2 layers of protection here, in case it drops, it might actually burn the other part of the hand which is exposed. Alright? Use a plier to hold the hot metal. Okay. So welding can be safe when you follow all the proper instructions. Just be aware of the warning label, the material data, safety data sheet. You should be okay. Now we'll go and do a demonstration of welding. Okay. Then come here and stand this behind. You are using short sleeves. Wear this to protect your arms, alright? And your, yeah? This is your apron. Use your apron properly. Just a reminder, don't leave your plier on the table because it's become part of the circuit as well. It becomes very hot. Put it away in the drawer first. Yeah? Okay, this is your electrode. But here, in KDU's workshop, you will see it's already connected. Alright? So the positive is already here, positive. The negative, earth goes behind. There's a clamp here. Alright? So don't remove that, it's already permanently there. But if you go to any other places you need to remove them, you can remove them. Alright? Electrode, you will see there's a number 6013. Does anybody know the meaning of 6013? Alright. 6013 is the usual electrode that you use for welding. Now, this one can be used for most welding. 60 is the maximum pressure allowed, 60,000 psi. 1 is the type of welding that you can do. I think when you learn welding, you learn basically this one. This is downwards is 1, horizontal is 2, I think. Upwards is 3. There's something different. Circular is another one, 4, and all that. So this one here, you can do everything except upwards. That one you need another one called 7016, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So this one we will use this basic. I just want to show something. These two are the same. Can you see the difference here?
One of them has a lighter color.
Yes, lighter color. Do you know what has happened to this?
It's oxidation.
Yeah, right. Oxidation. Now when oxidation happens, your welding does not do very well. Your welding process does not go very well. So if you notice it oxidized like this, tell the instructor and he will get you a new one. Alright? And even here the number is already quite blurred. I can't see whether it's 6013 or 6513. So it's just better to be safe. Yeah? So I'll turn on the exhaust. everything with the power off. Let's turn on the power here, yeah? Okay, once the electrode is removed, you go and turn the power on. You don't place it nearby here and all that. Okay. Shock, yeah? Bring your mask down. Don't open, you can see where you're going to weld, and then you start welding. Close your semi-lens and then weld, alright? Why is it not so good? Because the accuracy is still low. Yeah? This is a welding, this is a welding. The slack. So you might ask me why is it not even? NPL range was low. You need to increase the accuracy. Yeah? Now I'm going to knock it off so that you can see the proper weld inside. You need to wear a mask. I need to wear a mask. You can go back in my kit later. Yeah, you have to knock out the slag. And you need to knock out the slag when it's hot.
Because it's like malleable.
Sorry?
Because it's like softer.
Yeah. go to part 2. Okay, can you hear me better? Without a mask. Okay, thank you. Okay, now our young friend here knows a lot. So I want somebody else to answer. But if you know, you can tell me, what is lathe machining? Anybody? We young miss here.
Is it like to smoothen things out?
You're right. It's modern things, shapes, everything in a circular motion. As you can see, when you want to get the circular motion perfect, you use a lathe machine. Yeah. The one thing, lathe machine shapes the cylindrical items. Milling later, you will see this both. And lathe can also be used for wood. Not only metal, but wood as well, yeah? Okay, look at this. He escaped, didn't he? Yeah? Because he could have jammed his hand, he could have jammed his leg as well, yeah? So that is why they now have, it does not allow you to start the machine unless you close it. I'll show you later. What we can see now. Guard open. You cannot start. Guard close. Safety goggles. Yeah. Okay. So lathe machine is usually used for shaping pieces of metal and other materials as well. You can use for wood as well. It works by rotating the workpiece and getting to the shape that you want. You can see what I've done here using lathe and milling. Pass it around. Okay, the point of operation is where the work is going to be performed. So the point of operation is always here. Yeah? Yeah? The power transmission is located inside the machine. Always be aware, the machine has got electrical power inside it. It can be fatal as well. So be aware where the power transmission is. Know where the on-off button, your emergency stop button, your... Thank you, doctor. Thank you. How you need to control the spindle? Alright. Remember we said just now, there's an emergency stop there. But there's emergency stops in the machine as well. Alright? Now look at this. You start the machine. Something happens. Before you can tell your friend there, it stops. Now this, you can see when you press this part here, this light went off as well. Yeah? Now when I try to on it, I can't on it. Does anybody know why? Yes, because of the emergency plunger here, it has gone in. So you've got to turn it back out. Come out. Turn it back on. Then you can work it again. Yeah? So be aware of where your, understand where your control buttons are, what they function and all that. These are the gears. Your instructor, Mr. Fikri, will teach you how to work the gear. Just as an example, When you want to change gear, see, you can't change your gear. You got to work your chuck, move your chuck. Manage to turn it, but it still might not turn. I'll tell you why. Can you see? It can't turn because it did not engage the gear properly. Alright, I'll show you more when we do the practical now. Alright, these are the byproduct of your lathe machine. It's called chips. Now, this chip can be very dangerous. During high speed, it can go into your eyes. Yeah? So be aware when you use the goggle properly so that it protects your eyes. And when the chip is also being cut here, do not use your finger to move the chips away. I'll show you. Use a plier or use a metal or use a pen to move your chips away. Never use your finger, you can cut your hand. Yeah? So this is also a rotating machine, so it's got nip points where you can catch your finger, you can catch any part of your body as well. Always use the guarding, or newer machines or for guarding. As you can see there, there's guarding even near the tool in that machine, but that machine is really brand new. Be aware of the safety protection that you need to use. Even though there's a glove symbol there, you are not allowed to use gloves for lathe machines. Yeah, you know why? It will pull your glove in and pull your hand in together. Yes, that's right. The same, once tie up your hair, do not use jewelry, do not use this. I made a mistake, I should have taken this out. Alright, now this is called a chuck key. Yeah? You use this to open the chuck to put in your workpiece. Don't forget and leave your chuck key here. Anyway, this has got a guard. It can't move without the guard being closed. Yeah? You'll hit it here. This is to open up your tools. Yeah, this key. This is important, do not leave it here as well. If it's here, it might get loose. You loosen your tool bit, the tool bit might jump and hit you back. Yeah? You can even cut your eyes or whatever, so be careful about it. Oh, look at this. This is what they're saying, horseplay and playing around the machine. Do you realize what happened? Yeah, first of all, he put his leg back. There's no guard for the machine. It was one of the older machines. And one of his friends went and turned on the machine. Playing joke. Playing the fool. Yeah? So this is horseplay. Please do not practice this. Please always remember this is not some play area. You need to be careful. Your life and your friend's life are at stake over here. Okay, before you begin, Know where the on-off button is, know where the emergency switch is. Make sure all the guardings are properly. Then you can start the machine. Yeah? This is an example, I recorded this a few weeks ago, me using a machine in some other university. So make sure that your work is supported solidly. Supported means this. It's holding here. Inside this chuck, there's 3 teeth. 4 or 5 teeth, sorry. Make sure that you use at least 3 teeth to hold your, I'll show it to you, but to hold your item. If you put it on this, only 2 teeth, it's going to fall off. Yeah? And make sure that your part that you're working is not too long. Yeah, same size. If it's too long, when you're cutting, it might actually break. So there's a certain limit here. There's a formula here. I think your instructors or your lecturers will tell you how long you can use. Yeah. So like what you saw in the picture earlier, do not reach around the cutting tool to remove chips. Use your emergency stop button when something happens, and turn off the spindle when you want to do any change. Do not let the spindle run. You might think I can do it, but nobody is superhuman, so do not do it. Yeah. Beware of rotating parts, it can injure you. Do not use gloves. For this, do not use gloves, please. Yeah? And be aware of these tags. These tags are called lockout tags. So far all the machines here are working in proper condition, so there's no lockout tag. So if you see this tag, then do not operate the machine. Yeah? Ask your instructor. Alright, I will show you how to use this safely. I think maybe you want to surround me over here. I'm going to open this one. The production I'm wearing my goggles here. No watch, no chain, no metric card, nothing. Then this can be got. Alright, over here you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teeth. They call it DE. So when you want something to be done properly, use at least 3 teeth, yeah? Right? I'm using 4. Solid. This is your cutter. The tool here is made out of carbide. Carbide is a very strong cutter, but it also wears over time. Specifically here, let's put back the sharp point for me. Thank you, Mr. Ricky. And we will use this to cut here. Right? There's different shapes. This is an angular triangle. A proper triangle can use shape ring, the shapes. This shape here, shape ring. If you look at it, there's a different shape on top and on the side. You want to see. Yeah, I forgot to mention. The material that we're cutting is aluminium. The aluminium is soft, so it will be easier to cut with the cutter. Usually, when you use metal, bare metal, metal is going to induce a lot of sparks on top of the chips, and the chips will be hot as well. So you will need to use your coolant here. Yeah, the coolant is made normally from the car coolant.
That would be one option. There's also vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is the safer one, so better one, sorry, but it's more expensive because it's a special vegetable oil. It's not the one that you buy at the supermarket. Yeah. So for this particular one, we don't need the coolant because we are using aluminium, so we'll cut without the coolant. You turn on the coolant, you turn it on here, then you are able to bring the coolant in. Yeah. Okay. This is secured. This is secured. This is the tail stop. You want to make sure that your cutter is dead center. This is called top dead center. Yeah. This thing here, this thing here should meet the middle. This is yeah. So your top dead center is here. Perfect. Make sure your cutter is also here. So we just check. Here, center, right? Bring your cutter close before you start. Okay, almost ready. Almost ready. I'm going to start the machine up. You all want to see how it's done? Just be aware it might fly. So outside the work area.
Light material, right?
Very material. Might fly here. Just in case. Oh yeah, so you want to stop. The green is as well. You need to stop, yeah? I'm going to show you this now.
So what is the red color there? From 0 to 90.
That's RPM. The number that you saw there was RPM. The revolution per minute which you set here. That is set here. For each material there's a different formula to calculate RPM. I think your lecturer should be able to show you this formula. There's a bit of a formula to show, but RPM is here. Now, okay, can you see there's a bit of chips over there? It's still stuck to the material. You use your hand to clean. Oh, right. You use the grinder, yeah, you can clean that. Or even just use a plier. This is just still a rough cut. There's a nicer way to cut it clean. On this part facing, you can, so when you use a higher speed, you're able to get a cleaner cut, yeah? not go too close to your chuck. Break your COVID, yeah? Did you all see the amount of chips that were like? When you do a chip packet, right? Yeah, so it's something that always needs to be aware. Yeah. So what I've done here is turning. Yeah, turning process. What I've done just now here was facing. Yeah. So this is quite straightforward. Once you're done, you need to clean up after yourselves. Because the next person is going to use the machine can injure themselves, right? So you take this out. Processing. This is the reason it's a bit rough because I moved the cutter fast. You need a bit more patience to be very smooth. Get that, yeah? See? Very smooth, yeah? Smoother. Not perfect, but smoother. So sort of maybe a couple other reasons. The cutter was not sharp enough. It's rough. Yeah, rough. It's hot. I will leave it there later. You can see. Last one. Milling machine safety. What is milling? Yeah, form of cutting. Milling is a form of finishing, surfacing of a product that you are working on. It can be square,
It can be cylindrical. It's not as limited as this. It has to be cylindrical. Yeah. This, your workpiece is rotating. Your workpiece is moving. There, your tool is moving. Here, your tool is stationary. This is the tool. It's stationary, right? There, your tool is moving. Yeah. I want to show you this. Here, you can put in a drill bit here as well. You put in a drill bit here, you move it there, you are able to make a hole in the item as well. So, but the drill bit is stationary, so the product is the one that is moving, your item is the one that is moving. Over there, your item is stationary, your tool is the one that is moving, yeah? Alright, same thing, protect your eyes, tie up the loose hair, do not get caught in moving parts. Always take out the rings, metric card as well, all that. Wear safety shoes. Coming to lab, need to wear safety shoes. Safety shoes are not expensive, about 40, 45 ringgit, used to be a while, able to get one, yeah. So, always use safety shoes. It protects your feet. There is a metal inside here. It protects your toes, so worthwhile investment. Do not use gloves when operating the machine as well, and also do not take prescription medicine which makes you drowsy. Do not take alcohol. If you consume alcohol, be responsible to yourself. Don't come and use the machine. Yeah. If you are taking medicine because you are not feeling well, don't come and don't operate the machine as well. Let the instructor know. Alright, this is an example of a milling machine. As you can see, there's splinters and all that flying, which can injure your eyes. Yeah. And also, actually, just now when you saw the splinter, it hit my skin. It can also cause skin irritation as well. So be aware of that. Yeah? Entanglement, like what you saw earlier, with your shirt, your long sleeve shirts, and all that can get caught. So be aware of that. So before you start working on the machine, do a pre-operational safety check. Ensure that there are no slip or trip hazards present. Always know where the on-off button is, know where the emergency stop button is. The bed is so huge, you might leave something on the bed thinking it won't obstruct the machine, but never do that. So don't leave anything on the bed. This is your bed. Do not leave anything on the bed. Ensure that your cutter is in a good condition. If you need to use coolant again, like I told you, metal, pure metal, use coolant, but make sure the coolant is working. And if it's faulty, do not use the machine. Yeah? So always keep clear of the moving machine parts. This machine is slightly automated as well. It can move at a quite, the bed can move at a quite fast speed, so be clear of it when you set the bed to move automatically. Always set the correct speed. Look at what this guy is doing. He started the cutter manually. Now, apparently, back in the old days, they gave you, if the switch did not work, you can start the cutter manually like that. But please do not do that. It's very dangerous. You see how close the finger is to the cutter. Something unwanted could happen. Yeah? So always be aware of that. Set the correct speed. There's formulas. This is very important. For the milling machine, the formula, you have to learn the formula and you have to set the formula before you start the machine, because each material, the type of things that you want to do a nut, that's a different speed. You want to cut a gear like this, that's a different speed. Yeah. the materials and so on, so that's a different speed. So understand the formula. The formula is not difficult, it's quite basic formula, 40 over n or something. Your lecturer will advise you on that. Once again, before starting, ensure that the guarding is on. And all the proper parts are in place. Know where your on-off button is, know where your emergency switch off is. Always make sure that your chuck is properly tightened. This is the chuck. In that machine, you won't see a chuck because it is removed. But in the milling machine, you can have a chuck as well to cut gear. This is cutting gear using the chuck. Be aware of the travel direction. One thing, be aware where the cutter is going because it's automatic. I mean, you're moving the bed over here so that you can't see where the tool is going. Your tool might accidentally hit the chuck. And when it hits the chuck, it will break. It can injure you. So always be aware of that, yeah? Always stop before you want to do something. Always stop the machine. You want to change the tools, obviously you have to stop. Stop the machine again when you want to take out and put the new workpiece in. Stop when you want to clean the chips. You can use brush, like what he's doing to clean the chips. Stop the speaker before you want to take measurement, because this is manual, you have to take a measurement with a ruler, but I think ideally for this you need a vernier, angkok vernier, the vernier ruler, the vernier scale, yeah? Because vernier scale will give you the exact measurement, so do not avoid using ruler, use a vernier scale instead. If you need to change the belts and so on, stop the machine again, yeah? Please do not allow your cutters to break, because when it breaks, it can injure you. The flying cutter can injure you. Yesterday when I set up the machine, I accidentally broke the cutter as well. So luckily I was wearing the goggles and it flew down the side. So always be aware of that, yeah? Do not use an air hose. You know what's an air hose? The hose that blows air to clean the debris, because if you're using air hose, you're actually letting the debris fly everywhere and might even hit you again, yeah? Always keep your arms and hands clear from the start. Clear from the start. You accidentally let it start, it can injure you. Use your proper cutting speed, like what I said. Never let the cutter touch the part. Meaning, never let the cutter touch the workpiece. Because if you let it touch the workpiece before you start, it's going to damage the cutter, it's going to damage the workpiece. So keep a distance a bit, I will show you. Yeah? Do not slip, always keep your area, work area clean. If you need to sweep it, sweep it off. If you need to wipe the oil, wipe it off. Don't lean on the machine. The machine can actually move. It might look heavy, but if it moves, you are going to injure yourself and also damage your workpiece. Like I did just now, properly clamp your workpiece and your tools. Just now when I asked specifically because the tool was moving. So this was slightly off. Needed to be tightened again. Yeah? Yes, this is very important. Overhang. Don't let your workpiece to be very, very long. Do you understand why? If it's too long, your tool, when it cuts it, is going to possibly break, right? Because it's too long. If it's short, I'm sure there's a formula. What is the maximum length of allowed? There's a formula for it. I think it's three times the diameter of the workpiece. So you take the diameter of your workpiece, if it's in your chuck, 3 times the diameter of the workpiece, get that length and don't go above the length, because if you go above the length, you will break the tool and possibly break the workpiece as well. Yeah? And also this is what happened to me. I let it overhang too long, And when I tried to do the facing here, it broke. So you learn from experience, yeah? Always switch off the machine. Remove the milling cutters or store them safely. So once you're done, take out the tools because the tools can be damaged if it's sitting there too long. Clean up your area and leave your machine clean and tidy for the next person to use. In summary, follow your safety rules. Use the machines as it's intended. Do not use the machines for other reasons. And follow the instructions and safety guidelines. Okay. I will now demonstrate the last machine for you, the milling machine. Yeah? Okay.
Right. This handle here moves it horizontally. Yeah? Move it back here. You want to get even speed of cutting, yeah? Or you get step and break the tool, use manually. I would prefer still manually. Yeah? You're confident? Use the automatic one. Right? This is the vice to clamp your workpiece. Make sure it's very tight. Right? This one, now watch this, yeah? This lifts the table, lifts the bed, so that you can get as close to your workpiece as possible. So I'm not getting close. Do not let the workpiece touch your tool. But just so that you know, it's safer to take it off from here. It's a safety mechanism. So once you have pushed it in, you have raised it high enough, take it out please, because in case you move it up while it's running, you might break the tool or damage your workpiece. Yeah? We've got it close enough. Now there's the depth that you want to cut it. You want to face. There's a depth. How deep do you want to cut it? Normally we go 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 each increment. And then only we go up to the number that you want. Let's say you want to cut 1 millimeter. Do not go immediately 1 millimeter. Go 0.2, shave it off. Go 0.2, another 0.2, shave it off. Where do you see the 0.2? Over here. Yeah? You now set this as 0. Yeah? Set this as 0. And then we raise it up. We move it using this 0.2. Then we start the cutter. Alright? Do you want to come and see this measurement tool first before I start? Raise it up to 0.2. Okay, to turn the spindle, this is where you turn the spindle. Alright? Yeah? something, let's say something goes wrong, switch it off here. Now, please be aware, I'm going to ask you, one of you all, to switch off the emergency. Now, when I say emergency, when do you switch it off? Yeah. So be aware, when I tell you emergency, yeah? Now, once again, because I switched it off, this button went inside. You try to turn it back, it won't turn on. Pull it out, pull it out. Can you see it? Okay. Okay, emergency. Switch off. Yeah, yours should run. Okay, now I can't start it up again. Right? You need to pull it up.